$800 billion of stimulus available. Also, how Americans are feeling right now with everything going on in accordance with a couple new surveys. And what states are working on right now prior to the midterm elections. I have all the details for you in this video, so let's get into it right now. But if you haven't done so, or if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I'm back for you every single day with all of the honest, accurate, reliable, transparent information that I find for you while doing all my research as I distill it all down into these short videos so that you can stay updated with everything going on right now, because unfortunately it is all going to impact us in some way, shape, or form, and ultimately anytime that something comes out that we could take advantage of, whether it's money, benefits, a package, stimulus, some kind of reform, announcements, anything like this, I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the details so that we can take advantage of it right away. So again, thanks so much for your support. I truly do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button right down below the video if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into this. All right, so let's quickly talk about what states are working on right here, right now, prior to the midterm elections. And this is a little bit surprising because originally this was being worked on by Congress on the federal level. However, now this is being brought up state by state all across the country, as there are numerous different states currently working on this right here. Medicare for all. Remember hearing about this one? Yeah, we've heard about this one many times here over the last couple years now. Many people in Congress have been talking about how we need to implement Medicare for all across the entire country. However, it's kind of been dropped for the most part on the federal level when it comes to Congress working on the behalf of everybody across the entire country. However, this is being brought up across multiple different states right now, where they're exploring all these different ideas where they can implement a Medicare for all type of plan within the borders of their states. So this is something they want to implement very strongly before the midterm elections, so that they have something to go into the midterm elections kind of leaning back on and saying, hey, look what we're planning. This is what we're going to be doing for the state and all of the people within the borders going forward if you elect us, or whatever the plan is. So anyway, if you're somebody who is a proponent, or maybe you don't have the best health coverage right now, this could be something that may benefit a lot of people. However, we also do need to address some of the downfalls of something like this, whereas I do know a lot of you out there may think that the coverages of these types of plans may not be the best in the world. Now again, everybody's situation is a little bit different, so coverages might be really good for some people, and it might not be the best for others, because everybody has different needs as far as their medical needs, right? So anyway, this is something that is all across the country right now. There's a lot of states that are talking about this, and they are working on this very quickly in front of the midterm elections. So as we get more details on this, I'll certainly keep you posted, but as of right now, nothing has been implemented as far as approved, but they're working on this very quickly right now and trying to get this done before the midterm. So I'll keep you posted on that. All right, let's quickly talk about these reports that are coming out right now talking about how Americans are feeling. So the first one I want to talk about is the sentiment across Americans right now. In other words, how are Americans feeling? What is our confidence level? How do we just feel about the economy, everything as a whole? Consumer sentiment is what it's going into. So what we're finding is that consumer sentiment right now, in accordance with this new report that was just released, is at an 11-year low. The last time it was at this point right here was 11 years ago in August. So Americans, as you can probably tell, are not feeling the most confident or feeling the best with everything going on. Can you guess why we're not feeling so hot right now? Well, yeah, it's a number of different things, but it's that big word that we can come back to right now, starts with an I, and yes, it's talking about inflation. So a lot of Americans are feeling pretty, lack of confidence right now. A lot of Americans are feeling frustrated. We're not feeling very good right now with the current circumstances, everything going on. Money is dwindling, incomes are decreasing, and or the purchasing power of our dollars continues to deplete on a regular basis, and it all comes back to inflation and the lack of support, the lack of help, the lack of financial resources right now. So That is one of the major contributing factors to how Americans are feeling right now, and the sentiment across Americans right now is, yes, inflation in conjunction with a lot of other things that continue happening right now. Also, let's quickly talk about this other report that was just released also, and this is a new Gallup poll. So I think a lot of us have heard about Gallup polls before. It's also a very prominent like surveying or poll type place, and I think that a lot of these reports that come out of Gallup are usually pretty reliable. But anyway, this one comes out, and it's suggesting that 49% of people out there right now, so basically half the people out there right now, are finding that they, with all this inflation and everything going on right now, they are seeing some pretty dramatic financial hardship right now. So out of the 49% of people that responded, or that I should say are having financial difficulties, 9% of them are experiencing severe financial difficulties. At the same time, 40% of the people said that they're experiencing moderate or somewhat moderate financial difficulties right now with everything going on. So essentially 50% of the people out there right now are experiencing some type of either moderate or severe financial hardship as a result of inflation and everything else. And just like I talked about, I believe it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before, remember that report that I talked about where I said that these brands like Kraft Heinz are raising their product prices anywhere between 6 and 30% starting in March. So that's unbelievable. And that's just one brand out there. I mean, think about all the other brands that we talked about here on the channel where they're going to be raising their prices as well with all these different products and everything else out there in conjunction with, yes, of course, gas prices are continuing to move higher, right? So wow. But anyway, want to lay that out for you. I always like to bring you these little reports and let you know what's going on, just to kind of give you a pulse on how Americans are feeling right now and how everybody is, kind of approaching the current situation and what the current landscape is out there right now. I know sometimes we can look at our own personal situations and look like, oh, I'm the only person that's struggling right now. I just want you to rest assured, you are certainly not the only person that is struggling right now. If you're living on a fixed income like Social Security or SSDI or SSI or something like this, and you're struggling right now, you are certainly not alone. Trust me, there are millions and millions of people out there that are struggling. So we are certainly not alone right now with all of our calls to Congress and everything that we're doing right now, trying to get that additional attention on all of this and trying to get financial relief. You're certainly not alone. We are not alone in this community at all. In fact, according to these reports, about 50% of the population is in this same predicament. So it's a huge percentage of the population. I mean, seriously, a huge percentage of the population. In fact, according to a separate report, 72% of the people out there right now are saying that this inflation right now is contributing to their financial worries and everything else and their potential strains on their finances. 72%. So essentially, 3/4 of the population are saying that this inflation right now is putting a strain on their finances. So again, these are some pretty big numbers, right? So again, I just want you to reiterate that if you are feeling some, hard times right now, you're certainly not alone. And hopefully we can get something out of this. I mean, honestly, it still surprises me every single day that Congress has not stepped up to do something, considering the whole COVID situation continues to rage on. And it's almost like we're just like turning a blind eye to it, like, oh, we don't care. I don't know. It just seems really, really weird to me. I don't know. But again, that's just me. I'm witnessing everything going on out there, and it just seems very odd that it almost seems like nobody really cares anymore. I don't know. Just seems really weird. But again, that's just my perspective. Maybe if you ask the next person, they'll have a totally different viewpoint on all this. But again, that's just what I'm observing with everything out there. All right, let's quickly talk about another report, and this is, again, a little bit shocking with these numbers that are coming out right now. So remember about, I'm going to say maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, we started to talk about all this stimulus money that's out there available. At the time, I was saying that there was $500 billion of stimulus money that was appropriated, in other words, it was passed in the previous stimulus packages, but yet it was not distributed yet. It was just kind of hanging on the books, and they did not spend it yet. Well, that was about, what did I say, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. Honestly, I don't remember exactly when I was talking about it, but it was about that time frame, month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. That was in accordance with the reports that were coming out at that time. However, check this out. In accordance with a new report, And again, this is just preliminary information that they're finding with these reports. They're now saying that the estimated number of dollars that have not been spent, but yet already been approved with these previous stimulus packages, which, by the way, is just under $6 trillion. So over the last, not even 2 years yet, so since March of 2020, so not even 2 years, we're coming up on 2 years here pretty quickly, they've appropriated, so in other words, they've allocated, they've approved just under $6 trillion. Of that $6 trillion, they still have, in accordance with this new report, $800 billion that are still sitting on the books right now, not spent. It's just sitting there. Can you imagine what we could do with $800 billion? Let's just be real. As I've talked about so many times, it would only take about $100 billion to send out a $2,000 stimulus check to millions and millions and millions of struggling Americans right now, including those people living on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, or whatever it happens to be. In fact, about a week ago, I brought you a video talking about the differences between sending out a $1,400 stimulus check, how much it would cost, sending out a $2,000 stimulus check, and how much it would cost, and sending out a $200 per month raise to all of these 70 million beneficiaries of Social Security, SSDI, survivors, SSI beneficiaries. And it all came out to different numbers. It was anywhere between about $100 billion and about $168 billion. So my point is, we could send out about 70 million beneficiaries or low-income individuals a $2,000 stimulus check, and it would only cost about $140 billion. It would not cost that much. Or we could send out a $1,400 stimulus check for 70 million beneficiaries, and it would cost $98 billion. Again, nothing compared to what they have on the books right now, according to this report. $800 billion, as according to this new report here, is what they're sitting on that has already been approved. They don't need to approve more. It's already been approved. It's just sitting there on the books. Yeah, unbelievable. So a few months ago, or whatever I said, month and a half, 2 months ago, we thought it was about $500 billion, but this new report now is saying, no, it looks like it's more closer to $800 billion sitting around that could just be, offering the relief that everybody needs right now. So unbelievable with all this money that's out there right now, but yet they haven't sent it. So who knows? But at any point, Congress could write some kind of legislation that says, we have all this money sitting here. Let's reappropriate all this. Let's reallocate it. Let's send it out to the people, or let's do it whatever they want to do with it, right? It's available to them. And the only people basically holding it back and have the ability to appropriate it would be Congress, and of course, approved by the president. So hopefully, we can only cross our fingers that maybe they'll do something with that, and they have the money available. It's there. It's already been printed up by the Fed, and it's just sitting there waiting to go out and waiting to help somebody. So, wow, unreal. So, a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, this is what I have for you as of right now. Of course, I'll be back later with another update and the latest information that I can find with all my research. So again, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward, as well as share the videos with your friends, family, social media, and feel free to go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,100 videos right here on the channel. And of course, stay tuned as Corey will be back with the new latest updates and, well, not updates, but more like the latest list of shout-outs for the names that are pulled right out of the fan club. By the way, the updates are my job. Corey does the shout-outs right here in the videos. If you're interested in checking out the fan club, there's a link down below in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comments section, feel free to check it out there as well. So with that being said, enough out of me. Corey, take it away, and I'll catch you again later in the next update. Thanks again for being part of the community. I really do appreciate it. All right, Corey, it's all you, and I'll see you again later. See ya.
Today's shoutouts are Joseph Skloser, Margaret Yoakum, Joy Denise Gilmore Culver, Cheryl Gant, Sharia Taylor, Marcia Doki, Cindy Flever, My Haunted Dolls, Lisa Sue Murray, Linda Powis, John Nunez, Nemo Nova, Sandy Whitley, Robin Broman, Denise M., Southern Bailey Bell, and Karen Nelson. Thank you for being members of the fan club.